to the EarthtonesGirl podcast. This is episode 39. My name is Denise, and I'm coming to you today from my home in Yonkers, New York, where I live with my husband and our two children. You can find me on the web as EarthtonesGirl. I am most active on Instagram. I am also on Ravelry. The podcast has a Ravelry group, which is the EarthtonesGirl podcast group, and there's also an email address, earthtonesgirl@gmail.com. Hello, friends. Welcome to the first episode of 2020. Oh my gosh, 2020. Wow, I am so happy to be back here with you guys. Of course, I'm glancing at my notes as usual for all of you returning viewers. To returning viewers, welcome back. I'm so happy to, like I said, I'm so happy to be back here with you. The holidays are over. I was a bit of a Vlogmas dropout, but that's okay. I'll talk about that in a second. And to any new viewers, there are quite a few new viewers. Welcome. The biggest wide open arms welcome to you. I am so happy that you're here with me today. Yes, it is a new year. It is a new decade. Oh my gosh, it's a big year for me personally because I am turning the big 50 this year. Woo! We will talk about that and my planned celebrations later, but it is such a big year for so many reasons. Oh my gosh. And we'll talk about that too. I'm glancing at my notes, but I already want to jump ahead. Yes, the holidays are over. We can all breathe now. I know I can. I know many people love it. And I had this plan, as I talked about at the end of November, that, I wanted to do weekly episodes and, which I thought was going to work a lot better for me. And it did. It definitely did. I did not feel that day-to-day pressure. I made it through 2 weeks and then the pressure arrived. It showed up at my door like, hello, I'm here. Hello. Yeah, it was a little bit, got a little bit hairy at the end. We had a lot of family visiting. There were a lot of activities at the kids' schools. There was just so much going on. And my friend Joanna, hi Joanna, if you're watching, who is stitching the high notes here on YouTube, and also on Ravelry, she described it perfectly. Joanna and I have sort of weekly or bi-weekly FaceTime with each other, and it's so great. But we were talking about this and talking about Vlogmas, and she described it perfectly by saying, you're in a life raft. Imagine yourself in a life raft and you're going down river, and then you hit the rapids and you've got all your stuff, clothes and food and supplies all in the raft, and you reach a point where the rapids are getting a little bit faster and a little rougher, and you can do it. You can definitely maneuver, but the boat's heavy and you got to throw stuff off the boat or off the raft, and Vlogmas happened to be one of those things that got tossed to the side. I don't necessarily regret it. I wish it could have been a little different, but it is what it is. I'm not even going to bore you with footage because why? We all know what the holidays look like. But I'm so happy to be back here with you. There's so much I want to do this year, plans for the year. It's going to be a busy year, but really, really good. As I said, I'm sort of glancing at my notes here. The first big thing that's going to be happening is Vogue Knitting Live. Today is Friday, January 10th, and Vogue Knitting Live starts next Friday, the 17th. Wow. And I am teaching my first class. It is the No Fear Sock Knitting Workshop, and that is going to be on Saturday from 2 to 5 at the Marriott Marquis. And I'm ready. I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I would be a fool if I said I wasn't nervous. I really am. It's Vogue Knitting Live. It is one of the big events. It's one of the premier events in our knitting world, and it's a privilege to have been asked to teach there, and I really hope that I can live up to it. I feel prepared. I'm home today, and as I'm recording, and my son is also home, so he's waving to me. You can come in. What's up, honey? Okay, there's life interrupting. I'm going to pause for a second, and I will be right back. Sorry about that. My son is home sick today. He's not terribly sick. He just has a cough and a cold. And yeah, I think being back to school, we've only been back. This is the end of our first week, and I think he might have just picked up something. Sorry, I'm just turning my iPad back on to look at my notes. Yes, so let's talk about this year. Oh, I was talking about Vogue Knitting Live, sorry. So, yes, that is coming up. I am really excited. So if any of you are coming to Vogue Knitting Live that weekend, I will, just to give you my plan for the weekend, there's a teachers meeting on Thursday evening. So that's going to be really great. I get to meet a lot of the other amazing makers and knitters that will be there. I'm really looking forward to that. And Friday morning, it's my usual, drop the kids off and then head straight downtown. And I am spending the night at the Marriott Marquis. I will be there with Carolyn Bloom. Hi, Carolyn. I can't wait. Oh, that is such a great and fun time for the two of us to talk and share and all of that stuff. It's also, I'm going to be at the market, so it's also going to be time for me to spend time at the market and in the hotel, meeting and greeting makers and knitters, and I can't wait to do that. So if you see me, please come up and say hello. I would love to meet you and touch base and share, so please don't hesitate to come up and say hello. I welcome you all. So, and then Saturday, so I'm spending the night, and then Saturday morning, it's up bright and early. We're going to hit the market. That should be really great, although I do not plan on spending any money. I have more sock yarn and yarn in general than I will ever be able to knit. I am looking for yarn though to make the rug sweater by Junko Okanito. I might have said her name wrong, but anyway, that's the only thing I'm looking to buy yarn for, but we'll talk about that later. So yes, that is Vogue Knitting Live. So I will be there all day Saturday, and then Saturday afternoon from 2 to 5. I don't know what my room is yet, which room I'm going to be teaching in, but that is Saturday afternoon. I will be there for most of the rest of the afternoon. When I get out at 5, I'll hang out in the classroom, and if the market is still open, I'll go back to that. I think it's open till 8 o'clock. So I will be there for a while on Saturday in the evening. And Sunday, I'm not sure yet, to be honest, whether I'm coming back down on Sunday. I may just be home catching up with things around here. So we'll play that by ear. I did go back down last year on Sunday, and honestly, by the time I got there, the market was almost deserted. It was already starting to break down, so I'm not too sure yet what the Sunday plans are. Excuse me. What else is happening? I do have a little announcement to make. I was invited to design a sock, or to create a sock pattern for KNITCRATE, and I will be the featured designer for April, and the sock is already in the works. I am so excited. Oh my gosh, hold on, I'm just glancing. Yes, I am so excited about that. And I'll talk to you a lot more about that later. Yes, good things. And I do have someone that I want to publicly thank for that. Someone, you know what? Yes, I will. Someone threw my name in the hat. So I will thank her here. She knows who she is, but I will not name her. I don't want to put her on the spot. But my friend, if you're watching, thank you for putting my name in the hat. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for always cheering me on. It is so important in life to have people in your corner, to have people cheering you on. When you are not feeling your strongest, your most confident, your best, to have that push is so important. And I'm so grateful to you for doing that for me. So thank you so much. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm excited. And I do have my own pattern coming out. I've talked about this a lot during last year, and I keep talking about it, and it's not happening, or nothing's come to fruition yet, but that is going to change also this year. And I'll talk about why in just a bit. What else do I want to cover? The No Fear sock knitting series. Notice I've changed the name there a little bit. I have finally worked out all of the details. I have changed a few things. I've added a few things. I've taken a few things out. It's taken me a little while. It's taken me a long while to figure this out because I talked about this toward the beginning of the fall. So maybe around September, October, I talked about this and made an announcement that it was going to be happening. And I taught the class at Frame and Fiber in New Jersey, and it was amazing. And I've wanted to do something online. And to be honest with you, you guys, I just couldn't get my head around how I was going to do it. How was I going to present everything and make it cost effective for everyone, and how I was going to make it work. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, another dear friend, Rachel. Hi, Rachel, who is Treehouse Knits. And Rachel really made a good point about how knitting has been shared and handed down over the years. And I'm really excited about this decision, and I can't wait to share it with you. The first class is going to go up on February 1st, Saturday, February 1st, and I'm going to do a separate video that should be coming out a couple of days after this one, a separate video with all of the details for you. So you'll get the big sort of surprise in that video. So please stay tuned. I feel like I dropped the ball with you all a little bit on that, and maybe I'm beating myself up. Maybe I shouldn't say that. It just took a while for me to make the decision, and I know you all know I'm not going anywhere, and I'd rather take the time and do it properly and do it in a way that I feel works for me, and most important, works for you all. I wanted it. My biggest concern was that it wasn't the direction I was going in wasn't going to make it as inclusive as I wanted it to be, and that's now been changed, and all are welcome. It is going to hopefully include everyone that has access to the internet, and I'm so happy about this decision. I can't begin to tell you. It feels like a weight off of me. So now that I'm no longer trying to figure it out and work out those details, I can really focus on the content. So that was a big deal for me to figure out. So yes, the details of that will definitely be coming in the next couple of days. So stay tuned, and thank you all so much for your patience with that, which is the perfect segue into why it took so long. It is a new year. It's a new decade. And at the beginning of every year, there's a trend or a tradition of picking a word for the year. And my word for this year is confidence. You can't get a lot done in this life without confidence. If you don't believe in yourself and believe in what you are doing, it's going to be that much harder to reach your goals, to achieve your goals, achieve your dream, reach your dream. And I think that's what was holding me back last year. My word last year was focus, and I felt focused. I felt very, very focused. I felt like I stayed the course last year, and there was a lot of controversy last year, and a bit of stress at times. And I feel like I I I was focused and got through it, but I didn't have the confidence to make certain decisions, bigger decisions outside of just dealing with that. And does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But I think if you'd asked me to teach last year and design last year, as you saw, I had plans to do those things, but it didn't really happen. The teaching only happened once. So yeah, the confidence wasn't there. And I think it's because I was comparing myself to other people a lot. And was a problem, I know, for a lot of people last year. Am I doing this right? Could I be doing it better? Am I good enough to put out a pattern? Am I good enough to teach an online class and get money for it and have an exchange of just not an exchange, but am I good enough to do this? Am I good enough to do that? Am I going to have anything new to present? Probably not, because it's already been done. It's been done better. It's been done bigger. And you know what? It was a lot of soul searching during the holidays, during the last 4 months with how busy they were, and realizing who I am as a person, what I'm capable of. And you know what? The confidence is now here. And I put up a picture on January 1st of me, of myself that my daughter took. And she's an amazing photographer. Thank you, Kira. And I feel like that showed how I'm feeling right now. Self-possessed, very confident, and finally believing that I have the ability to get these things done. I have the confidence now to teach at Vogue Knitting Live. I have the confidence now to publish my own patterns. Um, I now have the confidence to listen to my own heart and my own mind and teach the No Fear sock knitting series here online the way that I want to teach it. The guidance and advice that I got was all amazing, and it was great, and I took bits and pieces from various sources, but ultimately I'm the one sitting here in front of the camera, and I have to make a decision that works for me, and I've finally gotten there. And again, it's confidence. It's having the confidence to listen to your own voice. So that is my message to you knitters, to you makers going forward, to believe in yourself this year. I talked about the book Quiet last year, and a couple of you didn't agree with my tangent. You felt that I was going off on a tangent talking about that. And you're like, well, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to see the knitting, and I want to hear you talk about knitting. And yeah, I will talk about knitting, but I will also now going forward talk about other things that interest me as well. And that in my mind still ties into my making. And having read that book, it did give me the confidence to do what I want to do and trust myself and trust my decisions and things that I do, even on the small level, just normal day to day. So I just really think that's an important message to share here and to make you all feel welcome and confident in yourselves as makers. I think the reason why the No Fear sock knitting KAL last year was so successful was because I tried very hard to boost your confidence, and it gave a lot of knitters the confidence to try, and now they're knitting socks like crazy and sharing their success with me, and I love that. You have no idea how happy that made me. So finding a way to present that online was really, really important. And yeah, I feel like I've gotten there. So stay tuned for details. Can't wait to share them with you. And we are going to be making socks and lots of things together this year. So moving on to the next topic. Another thing that's happening this year, there are a lot of KALs, MALs, and SALs going on. When I wrote that in my notes, I thought it made me chuckle, but they're knit-alongs, KALs, make-alongs, MALs, and sew-alongs, SALs, in case you weren't sure what those abbreviations stood for. And I am participating in a few, and I am so excited to talk to you about those. The first one is the Scrappy Sock Cowl, and that's being hosted by Amy, who is Exterminate on Instagram. And it's a year-long cowl that she's divided into quarters, and each quarter has a theme. For all of the details, please go and visit her Instagram feed, her Instagram page, and learn all about it. And it's stash busting, you guys. It's ultimately going into your stash, using all those minis that we all just opened up for Advent and using them to create your projects. In this case, your socks. And I've got more minis at this point than I know what to do with. And I can't wait to stash bust and make scrappy socks. Just even leftovers. It doesn't have to be, if you're saving your minis for something, don't feel pressure to open them. It can be all the remnants of sock yarn that you've used in past socks. Oh, my little boy's coughing. I don't know if you can hear him. He's okay. He's okay. It's using remnants from socks you've made already. You can open your minis, whatever you want to do. The goal is to reduce and use, reduce by not spending. That's sort of, I find, a recurring theme with a lot of these, um, these knit alongs, sew alongs, make alongs that are happening this year. So for more information about that, please go and visit Amy. She, again, is Exterminate on Instagram, and get all of the information. And the next Cal, or Mal, we're up to a Mal now, which is a make-along that I want to talk about, is the New to You make-along, which I had the pleasure of co-hosting with some amazing women last year. The main host is Cocktail Hour at the Coop, and that is two amazing sisters, Leanne and Liz. And I was asked to rejoin them and another group of amazing women this year. A lot of returning faces, a few new faces. I am so happy to be participating in this. So what this is it's a make along, which means you can try any new to you technique. Doesn't have to be knit. It can be knitting, crocheting, sewing, needle felting, spinning, embroidery, hand stitching, macrame, candle making, soap making, anything that you've not tried before that is new to you, you will be making along with us for the next month and a half. The KAL started on January 1st, so there's still plenty of time. Just about all of these have started on January 1st, so we're only 10 days in, so there's still plenty of time. And this one runs until February 14th. So there's plenty of time to try a technique that you haven't learned before. And even if no one, there's so much, let me rephrase. There are a lot of resources online. The point of this is to be supported by others trying new things and having the confidence to try these new things and not worry about making a mistake or worrying about it not being absolutely perfect. It's experimenting and opening yourself up to new things, or something you've wanted to try for a really long time, but for some reason, just haven't had the chance. Use the spirit of the new year to try something new. I don't like to use the word resolutions because it feels big and ominous and almost on some levels sometimes unachievable. I like the word intention. I have intentions for the year, things I'd like to accomplish instead of saying goals. I think language is really important. And if you follow Gigi, who's Gigi Made It on Instagram, she talks about that a lot, how influential words and language can be with your mental state and how you see things. So the goal with this is to try something new and have fun with it. Have fun with it. Post your success, post your failure, post, it didn't come out not a full failure, didn't quite come out the way you want. It doesn't exactly look the way you want it to look, but you know what? Maybe somebody out there, if you post it and you talk about it, someone out there may be able to help you or guide you or offer advice or point you in the right direction. So definitely, please come and join us with that. I'm hoping for two things. We'll see. And I think I'm going, and I will be purchasing this at Vogue Knitting Live because I know that they will be available there. I have always wanted to try needle felting. And I've seen many, many kits, beautiful kits that are sold there. So that is definitely a purchase I plan on making. Not an overwhelming purchase, not a huge purchase, not a lot of money, but I definitely want to give that a try. I have seen such spectacular needle felted items and little human faces and animals and different things, and I would love to try that. So that is one of the things I want to try. And I also want to try shishiko. I've had a kit sitting over there in my little pile since the summer. Why have I not tried it yet? I don't know. There's no reason other than the fact that I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I want to do it right out of the gate, and that is ridiculous. That is too high of an expectation that I put on myself, and it is now inhibiting me from trying something new. Nope. Push it out the door, have the confidence to give it a try. If I mess it up, rip it out and do it again. That is what I'm going to be doing. So Shishiko, I've loved it. I found a, and for those of you that don't know what Shishiko it is Japanese hand embroidery, and I'm working with a pre-printed, you know what, let me grab it. Hold on one second. It's right here. I have all of my supplies here. This is what, and yeah, don't mind the mess there. We'll talk about that later. So here it is. This is what I'm going to be using, and this is a Shishiko sampler. And most of the writing on this is in Japanese, but there are so many tutorials online that teach you how to do this, which I've been watching. So I'm really excited. I hope you can see. There's a glare. But maybe, you know what? I think you can see it here. It is an apple core pattern, and I love this. This is a very popular quilting pattern, and I've been fascinated and in love with this design for so long, so I'm really excited to now be able to stitch it. I have so this is a pre-printed, again, I don't know if you can see it because of the glare. Oh, maybe that's a little bit better. Oh, there, okay, I think you can see it now. The design is pre-printed on this beautiful navy blue. It's showing up black here, but it's a navy blue fabric. The stitching is in white. I have my thread right here. Again, everything is in Japanese, but it's okay. I purchased all of this from Pearl Soho down in the village, so they were incredibly helpful. Everything, I believe you can purchase these kits. Well, this isn't a kit, but you can purchase your supplies from them online or obviously then in person. So I have my white thread. I have a thimble here. I love little things like this. I have lots and lots of thimbles, and they really do work. The way that this works is it's got a perforated, again, you can't see it too clearly, but it has it's a Shishiko thimble, and it has a perforated leather, it's leather, and it has perforations here on the top, so your needle sort of sits in a little cradle, and it helps you. This is the motion. It's a rocking motion, in, out, with your needle, and I have my needles. They're very, very long needles, and it's interesting. You're sort of feeding the fabric onto the needle and then pull through, and feed the fabric, and then pull through, as opposed to a more traditional in, pull out, in, pull out. And I've done hand stitching before, so this is going to be, it's a different technique, and I'm really excited to try that. So that is what I will be doing for the New to You make along. So again, come and join us. I will put all of the information to everything I'm talking about in the description box below. One thing I've decided to do with this podcast is, for the most part, I'm going to try to decrease how much I put here on the screen. I want to podcast more, and doing that is very time consuming. There are times when I will do it, absolutely, to clarify spelling or just because, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more time efficient with my time with podcasting, because again, I really do want to do it more, and there's a lot of content that I want to bring you. And rather than typing it twice, because that's what happens, you're typing it and editing it into the video footage itself here on the screen, and then you're typing it again in your description box down below. So everything I'm talking about, you will be able to find, spelling, links, everything. It's even easier because there will be links, and it's all in the description box down below. If there's anything that I talk about that I miss, please let me know. Or if there's something you need specific help with trying to find, again, let me know, and I will do my best to help you. So I think I have two more. Yes, two more mals to talk about. The other one is the A Year of Less Waste, and that is a SAL, that is a sew along, and that is being hosted by Allison of Daisy Lane Designs. And Allison has created a very unique year-long sew along, and she is sewing. She will be posting on Facebook sewing tutorials for items that help reduce waste in your home. for example, she is sewing, I think I know the January project is cloth napkins. I have my fabric picked. I don't have it in front of me. It's actually downstairs with my fabric stash. I don't want to run and grab it right now, but I'll insert a picture of it here for you. I'm really excited to sew napkins out of this fabric. It is earthy and subtle, but yet colorful. I just got a new tablecloth for my dining room, so it will go perfectly. And I'm really excited to sew. I have missed sewing so much, and I did not sew nearly as much as I wanted to last year. So, excuse me, once Vogue Knitting Live is over, I'm really hoping to incorporate a lot more sewing in my life, in the podcast, sharing how I do my sewing, how I make my projects, new project bags. Another couple of other items that Allison's going to be doing are she's also going to be doing sandwich wraps, so reusable sandwich wraps and bowl cozies and bowl covers, things like that that you usually many people will use plastic wrap for. And I've made a bowl cozy before. We use it every day. I've made one. Why have I only made one? Because I haven't made the time to make more. I'm hoping again to reorganize my life so that I can make more time for sewing. And it's funny, I'll talk about this in another episode, but I have also decided to go digital, cutting down on my paper usage. So my notes and my planner and all of that are now on a iPad. I talked about that last year. I have finally opened my iPad. Okay, let's just take a peek for a second. I love it so much. I got the keyboard. I have my pen. It is amazing. It took me a little while, and I mean, I'm talking a couple hours, maybe if that long, to get used to using the pencil. I love this so much. It's not for everybody. It was a treat to myself. Call it a late birthday present or an early birthday present. I don't know. My Christmas present. It was a gift to myself, and it's okay. And I'm allowed, and I can. So I'm really excited about it. My notes, like I said, are on here. I can edit. I can delete. It's just a lot more efficient, and I'm now carrying one thing as opposed to phone and planner and my notebook with my notes and then another notebook with to-do lists. So I'm trying very, very hard to keep myself organized. And I'm going to talk about digitizing, is that the right word? My life in another, in an upcoming episode for any of you that are curious about that. I was inspired to do that by Joanna, again, Stitching the High Notes. And she's been amazingly helpful. There's so much information out there on YouTube. So yes, I digress, but we will talk about that more too. So yes, the Allison does have her tutorials on Facebook. This is a paid for sew along. So you do subscribe to Allison for the year. I believe it's $24 for the year. I could be wrong, but again, I will list that down below and link you to all of the information. I think that's an incredible price for what she is doing, and she's an amazing sewer, and I can't wait to learn from her. I mean, I know how to sew. I can hold my own on a sewing machine, but there is always something to learn from someone. And one of the things that gave me the confidence with the sock knitting online class is, yes, a lot of what I'm going to be teaching has been done before, but there's always a new spin you can put on it. Maybe video A didn't really work for you. You didn't get it. Maybe video B didn't work for you. Camera angles might have been a little off, or the language the person was using might be a little off. And then you might watch my video, or even, I'm video C, or you might even watch video D, E, F. It's exploring different options to learn something. One thing may speak to you a little bit louder or clearer than something else. Go with what works for you. So that's the approach I've taken in the past when I did the sock talk videos. And I'm really excited to move that content now into the No Fear sock knitting series. So stay tuned. I will be recapping some other things. Again, details to come, but yeah, I'm really excited about that. So Allison's Sew Along, again, is a paid for sew along. So please go over to Allison's feed. She's also on Instagram. You can get some information from her there. You can find her on, she's Daisy Lane Designs, and you can find her on Facebook. And again, all the links will be down below. So one more, promise this is the last cowl, and then there will be knitting. I do have some knitting here to show you. I promise. This is sort of a welcome to the new year video, so there's going to be a little bit more talking in this episode. So hopefully you're still with me. The last along that I want to talk about is the Stash Dive Challenge 2020, and that is hosted by Marce, who is Hey Brown Berry, and Natalie, who is Remembrances Pottery. They have teamed up to stash dive for this new year to create project, and I'm reading their tagline: create projects with yarn and patterns that you owned before January 1st of this year. Again, it's going through your stash, whittling through your stash, decreasing your stash, and spending less on new yarn. And I know for myself, I get very, very caught up in that. It's a new yarn, it's a new colorway, I have to buy it because it may not be dyed again. And it's FOMO, it's fear of missing out. It's a big thing. And I'm trying to steer myself away from that now, to spend less, to save more, use what I have, share what I have, doing swaps with people, and we'll talk about that more later too. So yeah, I think I'm really excited about this. I think it's an amazing thing, and I'm excited to see how much of my stash I can get through in this new year. So please go and check out both Marce's feed and Natalie's feeds on Instagram. Natalie does not have a podcast. Marce does. It's the Hey Brown Berry podcast, also here on YouTube, and I know that she has some information about it there, as well as her feed on Instagram. So go and check them out. I hope that you've been inspired or curious about some of these alongs, and you go and check them out. The hosts of these are some very, very talented makers, very community-based makers, community-based in terms of being inclusive with everyone and making everyone feel like part of the group, feel welcome, feel supported and encouraged. And that is I'm seeing that. No one's obviously said it or said it in an obvious way yet, but it is definitely there. There is a very strong sense of community in the air right now, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and I, for one, plan to support it wholeheartedly in this new year. So please join me and come join the fun. So I've been talking for a while, almost 40 minutes, and it is time for some knitting. Finally! So I was able to finish a pair of socks. I had a lot of advent calendars, as we talked about, and one of them was a little less traditional, and it was the 2019 24 stripe Advent Skein, and that was by Christina, who is the Cozy Knitter. And a lot of people cast on Christmas Eve, the Christmas Eve cast on, and that was originated, that idea of the Christmas Eve cast on originated with Little Bobbins. Why am I blanking on her name? I will put her name here for you. I'm completely blanking on her name. I'm so sorry, but Little Bobbins is her name on, I want to say Bobby. Okay, anyway, is her name on Instagram. And a few years ago, she started this tradition of casting on a new project, traditionally socks, on Christmas Eve. And I decided to continue working on these. I had cast these on. A lot of people also cast on at the beginning of December, obviously, because it was an advent calendar. So I continued knitting mine. I didn't cast on anything new on Christmas Eve, just because there wasn't, I don't know. I didn't want to have something else on the plate, so I figured let me finish off some projects, and I'm really, really happy that I did that too. And again, you don't, back to the KALs and the MALs and all of that, you don't have to join any of these. They're just options. Sometimes that can feel a little overwhelming too, because again, fear of missing out. You want to join everything and participate in everything, and that's not always possible. So do what works for you, you guys. Have the confidence to do what works for you this year. So that said, I did finish my socks, and here they are. They're done. Aren't these amazing? Oh my gosh, let's pull back a little bit so you can see them. 24 stripes. So from here, I started here to, where is it now? That was the beginning. So this is the beginning here. Yeah. So from right here, so to this lighter pink, so from this darker pink color all the way to, sorry, lighter pink to dark pink. That was 24 stripes right in there. And the colors are so, so beautiful. She gives a description of why she chose these colors. It related to the season and to Christmas tree shopping with her family, picking and cutting their own tree. And the colors are just spectacular. I love these so much. I did my standard vanilla sock pattern, which is it's 64 stitches, 2.25 needle. I used the Malabrigo Natural for my toe and heel, and I just really wanted to show off the yarn. So I just started, you know what, I just did this backwards, you guys, I'm sorry. So yeah, I just realized, sorry about that. So I started here. This was, I told you I started here, but I don't knit toe up. I don't know why I did that. I started here at the cuff. Having a little glitch there. I think I've just been away from the camera for too long and talking way too much right now. So I started here. So from here to here is one repeat of the pattern, is 24 stripes. And then you start again here. I think I got that right that time. You know what? It doesn't even matter where you started. They're just beautiful. So vanilla sock, the Cozy Knitter, her 24 stripe Advent Skein. I love them so much. They are so, so cozy. She does an 80-20 base. I don't know that there's a name for this base. I could be wrong, but it's an 80-20, so 80% merino and 20% nylon, and it makes for a very, very squishy sock. Really, really squishy. It's delicious. It almost has like a slight mohair feel, which I really, really love. But here they are. So yes, finally some knitting. And I know a lot of you have asked about my vanilla sock pattern. My shorty sock pattern, very generic, more of a recipe than a pattern. And my standard vanilla sock pattern, again, more of a recipe and a guide as opposed to a pattern. Those will also be released before February 1st. So you have those to go along with you, to knit along with if you're looking for a starting point. And again, I'll talk about that some more later when I give you the detailed video. Moving on. I do have one more FO to show you, but I don't have it here. It was a gift to my sister, and I'll put a picture of her here wearing it. I gave this to her on Christmas Day, and she loved it. I promised to make her a Lucy Cowl. I used the same yarn. It's the Rustic DK yarn by Chelsea Yarns, Chelsea Luxe hand-dyed yarn, and Chelsea Yarns is out in New Jersey. And I knit her cowl in this colorway. Yes, I bought one for myself because I loved hers so much, and I loved knitting the Lucy Cowl in this yarn. I swear this flew off the needles. It was 65 stitches. Again, the Lucy Cowl, 65 stitches on a size 7 needle, which I think is a 4.5 millimeter needle. And I cast on, I knit a big long tube, I grafted it together, and I did link to that video, I think in episode 38. I will link to it again down here for you. And yeah, it's beautiful. And this colorway is, again, it's the Rustic, yes, it's Luxe Rustic DK. It is 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal nep, 231 yards, and this colorway is First Snow. I said First Frost in my notes, but it is First Snow. You know what? I'll edit that later. But yeah, here it is, you guys. I can't wait to make one of these for myself. I'm so excited to do that. So, yeah, that was it for my knitting. Not as much done as I wanted. It's never as much as I want to. It's so funny. I always think to myself, if I just had the time to, get more knitting done, if I just had a bigger block of time, and it doesn't always work. It's all good. It's all okay. So yes, I will be making one of those for myself this new year. Whips. I am finishing up a pair of socks right now, but I'm hoping to finish those and show them to you as a finished object in the next episode. I am working right now on samples for my sock patterns and samples for the workshop for Vogue Knitting Live, so nothing too terribly exciting. I don't want to spoil it and show you the samples for the sock patterns yet, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, not much else to share today. I'm just so happy to be back in front of the camera and talking to you all today. Checking the time. It is about 3:20 right now. I stayed home today with CJ. My mom went to pick up Kira from school, so it gave me a little bit more time to record. I'm just happy to be here, you guys. It is 2020. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope your year is off to a great start. Our year had a little bit of a bumpy start. I will go into that later. Not as peaceful and restful as I would have liked. It's been a very busy 10 days. Very, very busy 10 days. But you know what? I've dug in my heels. I'm ready to go. It's a new year. It's a new attitude. Just going with the flow this year. Trusting myself, trusting my judgment, having the confidence to believe that I can get it done and get it done the way that I want to. I hope you all have your word. I hope your year is off to a great start. Please share your word with me. I did put up a post about your word of the year on Instagram, and a lot of you did, but for those that might have missed that, please share it with me here in the comments down below. Let me know how your year is going so far. Let me know how you're doing, what your plans are. I hope to see some of you next weekend at Vogue Knitting Live. Yeah, there's going to be more sewing, knitting, sharing, talking, books. I'm listening to a great audiobook right now. Lots going on, you guys, and I can't wait to share it with you and keep you all and continue, I hope, to make you feel welcome in my little online community here and my YouTube family. You all are amazing, and I'm so happy to be here with you today and going forward. Thank you for joining me. I will see you all again very, very soon. Lots more to come. Have an amazing weekend, you guys, and I will be back really soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you.